Deion Sanders' rumored girlfriend turns heads after Met Gala outfit goes viral. Deion Sanders might have a new girlfriend. The 57-year-old Colorado Buffaloes head coach, better known as Coach Prime, has kept his personal life mostly quiet since calling it quits with longtime fiancée Tracy Edmonds over a year ago. But that silence didn't last long. A recent string of sightings and one viral Met Gala moment later, it looks like Prime Time may be entering a new era, both on and off the field. The woman in question? Karrueche Tran, a 36-year-old model, actress, and social media darling. First rose to fame through her high-profile romance with R&B singer Chris Brown in the early 2010s. But she's not just famous for who she's dated. Tran has built a solid career of her own, including a daytime Emmy win and roles in shows like Claws. And yes, she also worked on a project with Sanders' ex, Tracy Edmonds. Whether the overlap was serendipity or sparks waiting to happen, Tran and Deion Sanders were spotted holding hands back in February during what looked very much like a cozy dinner date in Los Angeles. While neither Sanders nor Tran has officially confirmed the relationship, social media detectives have been hard at work connecting the dots. The buzz hit a fever pitch during the recent Met Gala, when Tran strutted the red carpet in a jaw-dropping black gown that had everyone, from fashion insiders to football fans, doing double takes. And with Coach Prime noticeably absent from his son Shedeur's NFL draft celebration in Dallas that same week, many fans speculated that his attention may have been focused elsewhere, perhaps on someone lighting up the Met. Tran, already no stranger to viral moments, found herself trending once again after her Met Gala appearance. The sleek black gown, dramatic cut, and elegant posture added fuel to a romance rumor already simmering. Her presence was bold, and it left no question about who owned the night, even in a room full of A-listers. Combine that with Sanders' signature flair for primetime moves, and suddenly the rumored pair seemed like a match made in bold headline heaven. Meanwhile, Coach Prime has had a jam-packed year on the football front. After wrapping up his second with Colorado, Sanders has been grooming his sons, particularly Shedeur, for the big league spotlight. The young QB's recent fifth-round selection by the Cleveland Browns came with its own splashy celebration at hide-and-seek in Dallas, where all the Sanders kids showed up, except their dad. With all the speculation around Sanders' romantic life circling back to Tran's rising profile, it's hard not to connect the dots between one missing dad and one very glittery red carpet appearance. Deion Sanders' rumored GF makes waves online. The internet did what the internet does best after Karrueche Tran's Met Gala appearance: react loudly. Fans flooded the comment sections of her Instagram post with unfiltered praise. INCREDIBLE. One user shouted with extra ES to make their point. And honestly, they weren't wrong. Tran's dress was a knockout. A combination of elegance, edge, and runway confidence. Beautiful smiling face with hard eyes. Another fan simply wrote, letting the hard eyes emoji do most of the talking. In a sea of over-the-top outfits, Tran stood out for letting her natural glam shine through. It's the kind of glow-up that might just make Coach Prime think, yep, still got it. Another follower chimed in with, so fab, smiling face with hard eyes, smiling face with hard eyes, smiling face with hard eyes, echoing the general sentiment across social platforms. Tran may have started her public life under the glare of gossip blogs, but she's built her own shine, and fans clearly recognize it. Of course, there's always that one critic who has to stir the pot. That hairstyle dead, someone bluntly noted. It's social media, after all. But even that comment felt less like shade and more like the internet just trying to stay balanced. Deshaun Watson sends message on respect, as Shedeur Sanders called better by NFL legend with PhD in QBs. Deshaun Watson walked into 2024 with franchise QB expectations, and limped out with just 9 touchdown passes and more questions than answers. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders, a fifth-round pick with zero hype and everything to prove, quietly posted solid preseason numbers and started turning heads. Despite his infamous watch flex, Sanders seems to be timing his passes just right. Retired players point to his pocket awareness, mobility, and raw confidence. They say he's got it. Now, with the Browns' QB depth chart still in pencil and trust in Watson wearing thin, Sanders doesn't look like a long shot anymore. He looks like the spark that the roster might need. Deshaun Watson is trying to reset the narrative. The Browns quarterback dropped a new motivational video on Instagram, captioned, "Respect your journey." For Ove. In it, Watson is seen training hard, throwing passes in the gym, grinding through workouts, and showing the grit and discipline fans once expected. The message? He's still locked in, still chasing, still believing. In the video, Watson speaks directly and emotionally. Respect your journey and love it. When you was at your lowest, tell me where the S was at. When you was at your lowest, tell me where the brothers was at. He doesn't sugarcoat the lows. He leans into them. Later, he adds, do you be yourself and make sure that you love being yourself. It's going to be roadblocks, it's going to be tribulations, but always remember this is a life experience. Accept the experience, appreciate the experience, and learn how to move on from things that don't serve you well, and find your journey. The video comes after a lackluster 2024 season. Watson's game with the Browns was anything but smooth last season. He struggled to find rhythm, often failing to cross even 200 passing yards per game. In 7 starts, he threw just 5 touchdowns, far below expectations for someone wearing the franchise QB label. The inconsistency wasn't just physical. Critics questioned his confidence, his decision-making, and his ability to lead. Then came Achilles' tear in Week 7 against the Bengals, which ended his season on a sour note. He finished with 137 completions on 216 attempts for 1,148 yards. The numbers were forgettable, the impact minimal. And with the Browns' QB1 spot starting to look unstable, the door has cracked open for someone else. Prominent analysts are already floating names like Deion Sanders as serious contenders for the job. Trust me, I know QBs. NFL legend votes Shedeur Sanders over Deshaun Watson. The heat around Shedeur Sanders hasn't cooled, but something shifted. Once the target of criticism and memes, Sanders is now being backed by some heavyweight voices. In a recent Instagram video posted by @SpeedComps1, the tone was different. The caption? Shedeur is better than Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, and Joe Flacco. That's not just fan speculation. That's former #1 NFL draft pick and Super Bowl champ Keyshawn Johnson going all in on Sanders. Johnson, a former wide receiver who played 11 seasons in the league and won a title with the Buccaneers, didn't hold back. He's better than Dylan Gabriel. He's better than Kenny Pickett. He's better than an old Joe Flacco. That's going to give you 3 for games, but can't give you 17. He wasn't speculating. He was declaring. And with Cleveland's QB room in flux, Johnson made it clear who he thinks gives them the best chance to win, that he didn't stop there. Johnson flexed his credentials with force. I have a PhD in quarterback observation. Trust me, he's the best quarterback in the room. I have a PhD in quarterbacking. And I'll say it here loud and clear. Nobody knows quarterback play like me. Coming from someone with 3 Pro Bowl nods and a respected TV career post-retirement, that carries weight. Backing Johnson's claims are the hard numbers. In 2024, Sanders passed for 4,134 yards and 37 touchdowns at Colorado, leading them to a 9-4 season. He earned top marks for accuracy, poise in the pocket, and decision-making. Despite the noise around his off-field image and viral watchflex moments, the on-field results are speaking louder now. Slowly, the narrative is changing from distraction to potential franchise QB, and then there's Deshaun Watson. Johnson gave a subtle but telling take on the Browns' last season starter. Deshaun Watson is, he's rehabbing. So he's out in the back room somewhere. That's the way I look at it. It was part jab, part truth. For Johnson, Watson isn't ready to lead. And maybe, just maybe, the future of the Browns is already in the room, with Shedeur Sanders under center.